Hey everybody, this is Chris with ORBTraders.com going over the September 15th Monday's trade plan and levels. First, let's just start over with the news for this week and the events. And I'm just going to filter out like I normally do for the high events that we care about. So that's the orange for high, or sorry, the red for high and the orange for medium impact events. I think most of you guys know that. If you're new, you can go to forexfactory.com/calendar. You can log in, create an account. Otherwise, it's totally free. Helps you prepare for what's coming this week. The big thing coming this week is FOMC. But on Monday, 1 hour before the market opens, we've got Empire State Manufacturing Index coming at 6:30. This is Mountain Standard Time where I'm at in Colorado. So adjust the time accordingly to where you live, according to where you live. And Tuesday we have core retail sales an hour beforehand, and then Wednesday FOMC. We're expecting that rate change. You can go ahead and look up on the Fed Watch, check out probabilities. Very likely for a cut now, maybe even a bigger cut, maybe more than what we've thought. I think most folks. Oh, sorry. Let me go back here. Yeah, 96% chance for that cut to come in. Currently, and you can see the probabilities here. Target at 4.25, 4.5. It's very likely that there's going to be a cut, unless something changes in the next 2 days. That's drastic, but so yeah, we've got Fed coming on to make that at 12. Now, keep in mind, 12 o'clock, we'll get the news, but 30 minutes in, Fed chair is going to come out, and you get a lot of volatility 30 minutes after that rate is announced. So keep in mind, you might see a pop at that data print time, right at lunch hour, noon, or if you're on East Coast, 2 p.m. But then, depending on what happens at that print, you could get shaken out. If you're in a long, we could come crashing right back down. We could extend further outside of the range. It just depends. I have no idea what's going to happen at the end of the day, but 12:30, 30 minutes after, during that speech, there's going to be more volatility likely to pick up. So it's not just at 12 p.m. that to be mindful of, but 30 minutes after during this press conference. Thursday, then you have unemployment claims, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index an hour before the market opens. So we've got four fairly decent pre-market data prints. Monday might be kind of low. We've already had a huge open up, as you can see, during overnight session here. We've already opened up, and actually we've opened up and we've hit the fib target. We've opened up like right on that negative 127 level. So this goes back to the last week low, to that first high until we started to fall back down, but we held the 78.6. This is a strong fib level that can certainly keep you in the zone. A lot of times you'll see fib zones where your primary golden ratios can fall through, but they can immediately come back up, and those original targets of that zone get hit. And so we see that here play out. First at the 23, then the 61, and then finally the negative 127% hitting overnight today. So I would typically extend this. Now, given that this is overnight action, I'm going to leave it here. I like to see levels get hit during RTH sessions. Doesn't mean it's not valid. It's certainly valid. But tomorrow, based on the NQ, I'm going to switch off the news now. Let's just go right into the NQ. I am going to be watching for any pullbacks from this gap up. So I like to look at the close. You can go to settlement, whatever you prefer. I'll go at 1400, so that's 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That'll be 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I like to take the last candle's close, 24, 111 half, and I'll mark that. Normally I just go with pink for these, and they're just called unfilled gap. UG is what I just go with. Name it however you want, and I'm sure there could be some studies out there that can help you configure that as well. So with that, we've got last week's high, the all-time high during the RTH session, and prior day high. So everything from Friday um, on that one level down at 24, 159. And then before we had that break, the high was actually sitting back. I can move this actually over so you can see this, but back on August 13th, that was at 24.68. So I want to keep that level up. We could certainly just roll back over or just continue to chop, wait until FOMC on Wednesday, and then either get a surge up or down. Again, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just drawing the levels that I find significant. These are key levels that most traders have on their charts. The prior day high, prior day low. You can even start out, and I know a lot of ICT folks like to do their new week opening gap. You can plot that on there, whatever you like. I'm going to go with the levels that I normally go with, as always, and the strategy is going to be the same thing. We're going to plot the 15 minutes opening range, wherever that might be, whether it's down here, up here, up here, and we're going to refer to the checklist and see if we have any other indicators that are helping us out with our trade, giving us confluence. So I threw, I'm sure you've probably already seen this if you've been around, but I threw the checklist in here. So we're doing pre-market prep technically right now, but we're going to adjust for the Asia and London sessions in the morning. We'll see, what that actually looks like. The Asian session just essentially range? Did the London session break out of that range and manipulate price to one side up or down? And are we ready to have full distribution? So there's a lot of accumulation, manipulation, and distribution that happens every single week. But before we go with our entry, say we get a breaker outside the 15 minutes, we like to have a 5-minute candle break for a traditional. And then we want to see the VIX and the VXN go the opposite way. That can give you your first level of confluence, so level 1. The second level is also in here with some more internals. What's the tick look like? Is that above or below 0? And then the ADD and the VOLD, where are we looking at in terms of the overall market? Are we declining on issues? Are we increasing on issues being equities underlying the market? And what's the volume actually looking like? Are we actually getting a lot of volume stepping into the market, or is the volume tapering off and going down? We like to also see a good volume surge with the breaker candles. So there's a lot of indicators out there. Use whatever you prefer. I'll just show you really quickly my study here. If I can turn this on, let's see, show some volume. So you can see last week this is a 15-minute candle, the yellow and green representing some extreme volumes where we pushed up and we continue to push up from 2470s all the way up to 118s, 117s. So it's good to have higher volume on a breaker compared to the lower volume. And then also, do we have any kind of level blocking us? Is there a prior day high, an opening session level, such as the overnight open, in your way? Is the London or Asian session high or low in your way when you break? And then what are the other indices doing? Is the ES also breaking in the same direction? The YM, the Dow, or the NQ, are they going in the same direction? And of course, depending on the trade and the range that's set, is the range really tight? Generally, it's pretty tight on the ES, around 10, 12, 15 points. And the NQ can, be triple, quadruple that, 40, 50, 60, 70 points. So that can help determine, how much position size you want to put in, where do you want to put your stop loss at? Because like I say down here, I like to use a dynamic stop loss. I'm not just one stop loss for every trade. It really depends on the price action and what kind of trade I'm going for. Just a quick scalp, or do I feel like we're going to get some continuation and some longer trend forming? Are we breaking above the 1 hour initial balance? That can really form a trend for the day. Or are we getting rejected at the top of the initial balance or holding support at the bottom? And then I like to use the 50% or 100% of the opening range for TPs on the ES. Now the NQ for sure you could do the same thing depending on what account size you're trading though, but the range can certainly be greater. So I threw in 25% as a first TP. But then that also can include, TPs before that. So if you're already hitting your minimum goal before 25% of the range, then you can close out and move on with your day in the green. If you're going into a daily level, that could also be a TP. So tailor this to your own trading style. Hopefully that kind of makes sense for my trading style. And then let's just jump back into the rest of the levels here. Turning these studies back off. So we've got the unfilled gap I mentioned, the all-time highs that were set during the RTH session, our overnight open. Let me just remove these since these are just hypotheticals for tomorrow and the typical strategy. Prior day low, and then I still have that fib zone that hit. I guess if you wanted to, you could extend these out even further. I would technically just move this. I want to see what the RTH session looks like. So I'll redraw the last week low to the current week high, and I'll keep on moving that over. And also, this is going to depend on price action. If we just chop on Monday, if we maybe make some moves pre-market on Tuesday, and then finally get a significant move on Wednesday, that can impact your fib draws. And then below, I guess even further, there is a bit of a fair value gap that was set. This actually goes back, I think it's a 30-minute that wasn't fully retraced. Let's just look at this little gray bar here, some overnight action. So this fair value gap actually started right here, but you can tell we had a lot of price that came into and retraced. So I brought it up to this level where you can see a significant bounce, which was last week's low at 23,726. So just one other thing to note for the NQ. That's going to wrap up the NQ and the ES. Similarly, with the overnight action pushing price to the other fib target, overnight opening at 66.45 says hit. So I'm just going to again think about tomorrow as a gap up start of the day. Unless if the price action for the Asia and London sessions retrace completely, we could see a complete pullback overnight, and then that gap gets filled. But until then, I'm going to draw this level here. So that close was at 65.87, or sorry, 65.87 and a quarter. We'll go with pink again, call this just UG, and put this over on the right. And then you got your prior day low, of course, at 65.83s. So again, we're just going to watch a 15-minute window or a 15-minute box form, go through our normal daily trade strategy, and rely on our internals to give us some confluence along with daily levels and an overall picture of what the equities are doing. I know I put a bunch of updates in the Discord today. Just want to, again, reiterate everything in the Discord is going to be completely free for the rest of this year. So I hope it wasn't too confusing. And if you've been in the Discord prior, you're just going to get grandfathered in. If I forget, let me know. But essentially, I'm going to be opening up Zoom in 2026, where I feel like that's going to be the best source for quality for video and for lack of any delays that happen for timing and voice and call outs. Not that you should be relying, in my opinion, on alerts or people telling you when to buy or sell, but I would like it to be as up to the minute as possible when I'm calling things out. So there will be some Zoom links that will be dropped in the Discord. That's under the paid section, and it's going to include a 7-day trial. If you don't like it, it's not for you. If I'm just not giving you enough, then let me know. But tell me before that 7-day trial ends, and then I can cancel and give you a full refund. And you can go back just to the free plan, where I'll be doing free streams at least once a week, every week on Friday. So you can at least see. And for new members that have never seen anything, try the free plan. check it out, see if you like it on a Friday, and can join the Zoom session. I'll also be running it in Discord, so there's going to be a couple streams in case if you don't have Zoom and you can only look at Discord. I'll be in both along with YouTube, so there's going to be YouTube, Discord, and Zoom going at the same time. So use whatever fits your tool set. And I also updated some of our channels here just to kind of make things a little bit cleaner for the community chat. Throw your P&Ls, your certs, and even if you want to stream and get pointers or just show your trades, jump into the community streams. Don't forget the little chat on the side here. You click on this bubble. Same for down here on the free Discord stream. This is going to be where I will be at the rest of the year for free. So for the rest of 2025, it's going to be the free Discord stream and then the YouTube stream. I'll be running both. Use, again, whatever is easier for you. And the daily trade plans like I'm making right now, I'll continue to drop those in the free trade plan section. And then throughout the day, I throw some periodic updates and recaps on the orb, what I see. And of course, there's resources down here. Just want to point this out as well, totally free. Hopefully that helps improve your trading. And I also want to point out some books that I think are incredibly insightful. Take a look at these. If you've never read a trading book, I would highly recommend to check out Brett's books. This guy knows his stuff, knows who he's talking about. He is an expert in his field in psychology and can really help you become the best coach for yourself and be self-reliant and not have to worry about other people and finding out what are things that someone else does. You'll be able to focus on what you do, and you won't need, at the end of the day, you might not even need this Discord. So that's why I want to keep at least something free here, some sections free. But I do put some time into this, and it's not that I want to make newbies trade, or pay for trading services, but at the end of the day, I do put quite a bit of time in here, and it is nice to get a little tip back. But also there's that free option. If it's not for you, I totally understand it. Anyways, that's going to be my trade plan. I'll go ahead and I will share the full grid as usual. And keep in mind, where price goes overnight, if we're going to continue higher or retrace, and then leverage those internals. Build some context on your trades instead of just waiting for a breaker and taking that first candle that breaks out. Sure, it might work sometimes, but I'm pretty positive if you backtest just one candle breaking and then going into the trade, your win rate is going to be fairly low. Not that it's only about win rate, but it is certainly helpful if your win rate is higher. It kind of lessens the stress for everything else. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up. Hope you guys have a great week. Happy September 15th. We're almost through September into October. Can't believe the year's already flying. We've got about 3.5 months left, and then we'll be into the new year. So let's stay focused, get after it. Remember, practicing discipline and consistency every single day. Make a trade plan, come in focused and with a clear mind, and do your best to improve one thing in your life and in trading every single day. Remember to journal, look back at what you did well, reward yourself for what you've done well, and look back at anything that you might not have done so great, where you want to improve. Mark that down and look at that as a challenge for you to improve upon. All right, well, that's going to be it. Hope you guys have a good night. Happy Sunday, and take care.